Welcome to the live hangout.
Welcome to the internet, ladies and gentlemen. It's mainly a man with a bottle opener. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'm done.
Shut the door.
Okay.
Hello. Hopefully now we have this wonderful point where we wonder if anyone's watching, but eventually it does go on the internet and realise that it's people making
This is always the
making
fun
jokes
part.
about willies that no one sees until people watch it back again if they do. Hello and welcome to the January Funwraith Hangout.
We cannot, as always, tell you how grateful we are to have been able to make videos for you guys for a living.
24 viewers.
Oh crap!
viewers.
That's loads.
People. 30. Oh my god, it's like watching a stock market explode. We've had a long day. Well, we haven't. Actually, no, I have a long day. I've been up since about 7.
Yeah, we did a business trip over the weekend, and now we've been a little sleepy all
A little
week.
wiped out, but it's been good. We've done some more Invisible Ink today.
We did some more than Invisible
I
Ink.
won't spoil whether or not I'm still the best. That's a surprise for later. And we've done some Dark Souls. We just had Kesem.
We had a really good Dark Souls, actually. It was a really fun,
really good. We
lots of chat.
talked about The Witness. We talked about Talos Principle.
Talked about Homeworld Deserts of Karnak, which
car accident.
Karnak?
Car-
Kazakh?
Kazakh, that's it. I was like, it's not Karnak, mate. And you're the one who's fucking played it. And what else did we talk about? Some good stuff.
God,
He's struggling.
man.
Oh my god.
Dude, no, it's fucked. Like, it's fucked. It's at, do you want to hold this up to people at home? So, Funwraith super user Oz Mills
Super user. Come on, we're not Facebook.
is no, you fucked it, surely.
No, you fucked it, man.
Yeah, you fucked it. Has sent us some booze. One of which broke in the mail, which Matt was able to rescue and then drank without me because he was worried it would go off.
Yeah, when you say it like that,
Oh, you did
it
it.
seems tenuous. Yeah, I'm good at this, man.
And then look at this. So this is he sent us basically ghostly themed booze. This is
Red absinthe.
yeah, absinthe bitter spirituose.
My god. Oh my god, just a bit went on my hand, and just when I went to lick it off, my hand felt cold just from the evaporation immediately.
Oh really? It's
I mean,
4%.
70%.
Oh, surely 70. See, surely 70 proof.
70. Well, 70%.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I think just by having that cork off, taking that cork off has probably made it less alcoholic.
Oh my god, dude!
within
It's like
seconds.
sniffing glue.
I wouldn't know.
I mean,
Yeah, no, it is.
yeah, you said that, but you would when you smelled it.
Everybody knows a bit what solvents smell like. It's
But
just
wait,
that's a
ladies and gentlemen, because Osmills.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing is ridiculous. It's a bottle of honey mead, Konig's mead. It's King's mead, so it's basically honey mead liqueur. So thank you very much, Osmills, for supplying us with some booze to drink this time. Although this stuff is actually all tremendously strong. I mean, this is 70%. That's like 19% anyway. I had some earlier when we were recording the podcast. It's nice, a little on the sweet side for my taste.
I haven't had any yet because I'm a professional.
But it is strong.
Obviously, Oz, we'd like to thank you enormously. All of you are our favourites because you're Funwraith, and that's absolutely massive. But Oz is temporarily our most favourites.
You're gonna create a horrible favourite culture here.
I want to try this absinthe. We've got glasses with ice.
Are we starting off with the absinthe?
I would,
Jesus.
dude. You had me. You can do whatever you want. You live your life. I'm gonna do the.
Let's have some absinthe then. Good God.
I nerded out about absinthe when I was a teenager and got obsessed. And fuck, so that's basically you got to double that for the strength. So that's like basically 2 shots.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just that. I remember actually one of the first times it was the first time I met you actually, but the first time we sat down and properly talked about me maybe quitting my job and doing Shut Up and Sit Down was when we drank some like ridiculous proof rum.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
we played Memoir 44 in my kitchen.
Oh, there!
And
Was that the first time? What a game to be chatting over.
Yeah, but that was the first time we ever chatted about like actually like working together properly a bit more. And yeah, like all we had to drink was we drank it neat as well. It was called Ray and Nephews, and I've since realised if you Google Ray and Nephews, there's loads of videos of people drinking Ray and Nephews neat and then go.
Really?
It's like a challenge. Can you drink this stuff neat? We just drank it neat like for an evening.
And then were Nazis and allies fighting each other in a great.
And I had the worst hangover in the morning.
I remember that is one of several evenings in my life where I've gone home and been like, progressing in my career.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, no,
well drunk.
It felt like an important night as well.
Oh
yeah.
God, you guys have been busy with the questions.
Getting busy with the fizzy.
Guys, honestly, we're not drunk at all.
We're not drunk. We've had a pint because we went and ate some food. Usually I cook, but not today. So we just had some food. Not today.
Paul Cosgrove, you're all busy. I'm going to respect your time. Paul, oh no, your question has literally just been leapfrogged by Nick Clark. I'm going to abandon you for a moment. Nick Clark says, Matt, do you have a pact with I remember how we do this now. Nick Clark says, Matt, do you have a pact with Quinns that in the event of your untimely death, he will stop your good morning/evening Twitter posts, or will they haunt Twitter for eternity?
I think they'll haunt Twitter for eternity, and I kind of like that idea, actually.
You'll be like one of those stories where someone's like, my mum died, but then I visited her house in Animal Crossing.
You know, I've kind of realised I haven't really done the maths, and I don't want to because I'm worried I'll work it out for the worst. But I do wonder sometimes if I'd probably just actually do better on Twitter in terms of picking up new followers if I just left it just to do that and nothing else. I think that's actually the most favourite, one of my most popular features on the website.
Oh, so you mean overall, you would get more RTs and favs per tweet?
Yeah, just generally everything would be better if I just did that. No, I kind of like it being remained like alien and untouched. So in a way, like I like the idea that if something did happen to me, although it's a bit morbid, but I'm a bit of a morbid guy, I like the idea that it would just continue, like until Twitter eventually went, no, this is spam. And just shut the account down.
This didn't make it into Subterfuge Diaries, and I think I want to say I mentioned it at some point on the podcast, but like during Subterfuge Diaries, I was waiting for Matt to go to sleep because I was in Vancouver, and the good night thing popped up, and I thought he'd changed the time because I did the maths wrong to make me think he'd gone to sleep so that I would attack. When actually the good morning, good evening to it was a fake out.
We were really deep down the rabbit hole. A lot of people thought we were kind of acting for those videos, but nah, I'd really lost my mind for a lot of that. But yeah.
Yes, good work. Okay, Paul Cosgrove, we return to your question after you were rudely dethroned. I just became a dad 5 weeks ago. Congratulations, Paul Cosgrove.
Congratulations, Paul.
And it's got me thinking about the future. What would you... That veered off. Suddenly, I thought it was going to be poignant, and it's like, video games! What would you say are the best games / video and board for a young family?
5 weeks. I think you're a way off playing video games and board games, to be honest, mate. I think... come back and ask again in like 4 years or something. I don't think kids can do that. They just want to eat the pieces. I mean, we just want to eat the pieces as well. Or like,
yeah.
You know, I think really from what I know from people who've got kids, it's more about like working out solutions so that your children don't put sandwiches inside of the PlayStation 4.
I ate so much sand when I was a kid.
I heard a lovely story about somebody using kind of Suguru, which is this like nice, like rubbery, plasticky stuff that I'm quite into. It's like you can use it to modify things and make things that like have edges, not have edges.
Just because it's magnetic, right?
No, it's you can put magnets in it though, so you can use it to like put magnets in two things and then basically make two things that stick together.
It's like it's like blue tack, but it goes really hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically rubbery stuff, but it goes solid. So you shape it, then you leave it, and it becomes solid. You can do tons of stuff with it. You can like fix shoes, you can fix wellies, you can modify things. I've got some of my camera tripods to like so I can hook things onto it. It's pretty cool. It's quite geeky. But one thing somebody said is they used the button around it because they realized their kid just kept seeing the flashing lights on the computer and just going and pressing the button. And I mean, they'd just be halfway through working on something and then the computer would just switch off and they'd realize that their toddler had just pressed the button because they liked it, because you press and hold the button, lights go off. You press it again, lights come on. So obviously you can't explain to a kid this stuff. So they just made this little like weird like barrier of Suguru around. So to switch the PC on, you kind of had to put your thumb underneath and press. Right. And it meant that the kid couldn't easily press the button, so problem solved. So.
And then did he do this with like every button in the house? So like the kid would, press the radiator and then they'd cover the radiator. I
think it was more with your computer. Imagine if you're halfway through something and suddenly the screen goes black and then you turn and just go, oh no!
It's fine, mate, because everything's on the cloud now.
Not everything, mate, not everything.
That's true. Paul, my actual answer to you, Paul, is that I am the worst person to ask about this because I don't have a kid. But there are loads of board game reviewers who do have kids. Weirdly, I was just talking about that 5 minutes ago. And they all talk about exactly at what age, what games are good for their kids. Go listen to the Dice Tower, talk about best games for kids, that kind of thing. What video games, though? I don't know. Ones they want to play. Why would you... It's like when people say, like, oh, I'm going to make my kids watch the Star Wars movies in that order. It's like, no, let them watch Hunger Games or whatever. Let them live, live their life.
They don't want to do this.
Your kid is going to want to play Clash of Clans, and you're going to go, fine.
I don't know. There is some nice kid stuff. I don't know, but it's hard to
Lego
say.
games, but that's like 8 years away.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're a way off, unfortunately.
Paul, you're fucked.
Keep them away from screens. Let them run wild.
Yeah, actually, that's a better answer.
Tiny creatures. That's basically what they are.
Ross M. It's good to see you, Ross. When we just do the questions like this,
he's got a picture of a rhinoceros.
Stop. Just stop. When we do answer these questions like this, it's not a hangout. It's just a sort of really rapid Q&A session. So I think we should chat more. Ross, if you would like to drop into the questions tab, why you've got a rhino as your icon, because I bet there's a good story behind
What's
that.
that about?
What's that about, Ross?
Is your brother a
Let
rhino?
us know. And while you're at it, let us know what kind of a day you've had. And all you other...
I don't care about that. I just want to know why he's a rhino.
All you
I
other
want answers.
scumbags, when you see that from Ross, you have to upvote it and not be like anything
You
else.
see, you say it's all just questions, but this kind of directive is exactly what sends the people into a sort of
Wild.
something else. This is
I
when
like it when
something
they're
else
like
is
that.
born.
I like it
It
when
will happen. We can't change it. Like at some point, something will happen, and we will be derailed.
it's good.
Revolution. Will
Ross
come.
M says the world is falling into the sun. Luckily, the government has provided you with a USB-sized space rocket to save a single piece of each other's work. What a good question. I didn't even read ahead.
Brutal.
What would you send into the blackness of space? Oh, man. Oh, man. What a good question. You've also got me and Matt panicking because we're not completely aware of each other's who've... What would I pick of yours? This is like...
I think, to be honest, the only reason I work with Quinns is because he's continually just improving. Like, I can't be bothered with anyone who's stagnating, including myself. And when I'm stagnating, I get really frustrated. So
it'd be whatever I did last.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm always that thing of like, whenever I see new things you've done, I'm always like, oh, this is really good. It's really good. I always get a sense that everything's getting better, like all the time, a little bit.
It's when Matt and I collaborate is often when I get really excited because I feel like, especially with Shut Up and Sit Down videos, which
we have kind of different skills that
they're fused together,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, like, I think some of the videos I'm most proud of would be like, it's not really Matt's work if we collaborate, but if I'm going to cheat answer, and it would be like something that we'd worked on together. Like, we just did a video a couple of weeks ago about Flick 'em Up, and then it would be Matt's work, but I'd survive as well. I would go into space, and they would keep me alive.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird.
Why are we not putting on that USB-sized space rocket? Like,
I think it's a weird thing. I think when you make things, if you just, and you don't really get this until you've made quite a lot of things, but like I have, like when I used to have, like when I was younger, I used to have like comedians who'd have like, I'd just rinse everything they'd done, and I'd just be like, this is the definitive one. This live show, this thing, this CD, amazing. Other stuff, bad. You just tear it apart, right? Or like, TV shows, you're like, this episode of this comedy show is the funniest. The rest of the series is kind of garbage. But that's fine as a kind of like somebody who's just consuming things. But like when you're making all this stuff, there's nothing more sad than if you were asked like what one piece of your work, because obviously there would be a tendency to go back and choose something that you've done a while ago that you were really proud of. But there's nothing sadder than the idea that you have already done your best work.
yeah,
So it's having this idea that like it's choosing one thing is difficult, because I like to believe that that I will do something, that the work I'm doing now is as good as what I've done before, or at the very least, the work I will do in the future will be the same. And I now have that same empathy for other people I work with, of being like the idea of like being like, oh man, that thing you did. Because honestly, I used to think of saying this to people, like, see a comedian, you want to go to them, that thing you did like 10 years ago is
which
amazing.
is actually kind of,
Now it's like, man, that break your fucking heart. Like,
there's that like whole thing. The guy who wrote Joseph Heller, I guess, the guy who wrote Catch-22 was in a restaurant, and he wrote loads of novels, but Catch-22 is like famous as his oeuvre.
Yeah.
And someone came up to him. You know the story?
no.
He goes in a restaurant, supposedly. He comes up and says, "Hey, Mr. Heller." Yes. He goes, "You never wrote a book as good as Catch-22." And then he says, like, thinks and goes, "Well, neither of most people."
yeah.
Which is good. But no, I've got an answer for this now. Ross M, with your difficult questions. As we get older, like, I especially think more about, sites and the communities and everything we create. And for me, making individual videos is nice, but like overall, Shut Up and Sit Down is the thing I'm most proud of, or like, Cool Ghosts. And so if there's one piece of work I can say from Matt, it's like managing a YouTube channel is a piece of work as well. It's just an entirely different skill. So I'd put Cool Ghosts on the USB stick, because man, USB sticks can hold like 128 gigs. You could fit
quite a lot.
You could fit all the Cool Ghost
Compress
stuff.
it, make the videos
and that
really
includes
small.
the comments. That includes you guys as well, which is absolutely part of our work, because
kind of
you
agree with
steer
that,
this stuff. Yeah.
I kind of agree with that largely because I think like a lot of my earlier stuff was really popular, and like all the I'm now doing less like kind of straight comedy stuff. Mainly because I realized there was a fantastic, I think it's a Stuart Lee thing, Stuart Lee quote of being like, there's nothing, like the one thing you never see in comedy is, I think I'm paraphrasing here probably really badly, but it's the one thing you will never see in live comedy is a comedian standing on stage and sincerely trying his best to do something good. And I think there's some truth in that. And I think that, like, whilst comedy is a lot of fun, there's a tendency sometimes for you to it's like a kind of a get out clause of being like, well, I was joking, or well, I was being sarcastic. Well, it didn't really mean anything. And like, I think sometimes there's a tendency to like lose some sincerity and lose
I was tired or I was drunk. Like I get that a lot from
just this idea of like, you're joking, you're always making fun about things. And it's an easy position in which you're never really putting yourself out there. You're never really like going for something. You're never really completely trying.
It's why the 80 Days video was so, just as a
and that's why I kind of feel like I've got a different tack now. And lots of people might have liked the straight comedy stuff I was doing more, but I kind of feel like I'm enjoying more having the sincerity and being like, I love this. And I'm not joking about it.
And that is genuinely,
like,
that's scary.
I love this.
Comedy is scary, but it's scarier to do.
Well, you put up a wall with comedy, because if people don't like it, you're like, well, it's just a joke. You didn't get the joke.
Exactly.
But when you just say, I love something, if people come at you, it's like, well, you're coming at me. You're coming at my fucking heart.
Yep,
You know? So whatever.
Thanks, Ross.
Thanks, Ross. You're a good rhinoceros.
Rhinoceros.
I got there in the end.
Mark Quaglia of Shut Up and Sit Down support and friendship fame. Gentlemen, I need a sci-fi game that replaces the vacuous hole in my heart left by Mass Effect. Recommendations?
Tricky.
To which I would say, just for the time being, for like tonight, you can play what's that? What's
the night
that you
when
play?
you play.
I've forgotten the name. It's the thing where it was free recently. Consortium.
Yeah.
Temporarily play Consortium. It's not great, but it will absolutely fill.
It's messy, but it's really interesting.
48 hours of your life.
Yeah.
It's quick and easy and straightforward.
Half getting home, it's fine. But why is good sci-fi? Yeah, Mass Effect really grabbed me.
Homeworld, man. I mean, if you can do kind of. I love the story in Homeworld. Homeworld Cataclysm is like my favorite story told in any sci-fi game, but it's probably aged really badly. I love space. If you're looking for space opera, yeah, Homeworld. If you can deal with an RTS, Homeworld tells a lovely little story.
Mass Effect space opera was amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I mean,
as a series, as
BioWare,
the world,
and allegedly not profitable as well. If you listen to,
no, I don't think it was.
Rumors.
I mean, it cost a lot of money. It was very shiny. Had all of the bells and whistles.
People can do a fun.
Had like 10 types of alien at least.
It's true. It's true.
I didn't even count them, but I'm guessing.
If you want to fund a bit of homework and you're sort of like young and want to know an exciting truth of the games industry, look into how many people worked at BioWare making Mass Effect, and then look up how many people worked at Bethesda making Fallout, multiply that by the number of years they worked on it, and then compare that to the amount of copies they sold, and be staggered at the results. It's like one of those things where you do a chemistry experiment at home, and I'm not going to tell you what does, but just be excited and write it down with a pen. Yes.
I love sci-fi, but I can't think of anything right now, which is really bad.
There's like iPad stuff. There's like, Waking Mars, but that's not what you're after if you've just played.
I find fantasy and sci-fi quite interchangeable.
Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Yeah, if you've not played that, that's actually great. It doesn't like last that long, but it doesn't outstay its welcome either.
It's great. Actually, with the new director's cut, it does last a bit longer.
Interesting. No, that's a great game. I love the world.
Human Revolution. The art design.
The art design in that is off the flipping.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
I'm not. No, I'm just completely.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not making any kind of joke about this at all. It's a serious issue.
Hello, Redcun02. Thank you so much for donating. We love you.
Yeah, I keep forgetting everybody here is.
They're all the best.
They're all the best. Thank you very much. Well, also donating. I think a lot of people. It's for some people it's more money than others, and we appreciate it from everyone. But also, it's donating your time, popping along and sitting with us. It's a nice thing to do in the evening. We're welcome. Glad you're here.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Well, I mean, like we're drinking absinthe, so Jesus.
We're drinking absinthe. We're doing okay in this one.
I think we're doing okay so far. Ooh. What's going to happen? Star wipe to jail. I'm about to do.
We still have never done the spooky mystery that we promised in the Patreon video.
We got time.
We got all the time.
Maybe we're still in the spooky mystery.
Star wipe to jail.
Star wipe to jail.
Star wipe to you waking up in jail.
Why did we trust those ghosts when they asked us to hold a bag? They'd obviously robbed the bank.
Did you see the Scooby-Doo reboot today?
Yeah.
I like it.
I didn't see anything other than people taking the piss out of the fact that what's it called has got a hip
Shaggy. I think it's totally right.
I think I mean the thing that it actually fits beautifully because when Shaggy was first designed, he was this kind of washout. We'll get to you, Redcan. But he was this kind of 60s style hippie washout.
Yeah,
which was like the idea of a useless guy in that era.
Yes.
And now a useless guy
is a guy with a hipster
moustache. Like so, actually, it could not.
And also, Freddie, who was like the sailor jock, now has like a tribal tattoo, and it's like, yes, I get it.
It's exactly the same.
Anyway,
do you want
to do the
Redcun says I'm about to do make a game in 48 hours game jam.
Nice.
Have Matt or Quinn's ever taken part in a game jam? If so, what games did they make? If not, is this an activity intrigues them? I've just realised. Oh fuck! I was supposed to reply to an email from a very nice guy we met in Scotland. He's definitely not here. But
Wait, do you mean the guy who invited us to the Scottish Game Jam?
yeah,
That's what smells, isn't it?
no, it's not. It's another guy. The guy who we met at GDC, who was the Scottish guy who brought all the board games.
Oh, him. Yeah, a couple of people have invited. Anyway, I have done a game jam.
I want to do it, and I just keep not being able to do it because I'm busy.
I was paid to take part in a game jam by a university who paid a bunch of Ricky Haggett was one of the people involved, Hannah Nicklin, and people, and we were all paid by London College of Communications to come and help be floating mentors when the students did a game jam, and it was fine. I was flattered they invited me, but it was really depressing working with students who at that particular university didn't have like an enormous amount of work ethic. Like they didn't really want to make games, they didn't really want to be there. Or at least if they wanted to make games, they wanted to learn coding and then get a job at Rockstar or whatever. But when it was like, hey, let's make a game, this is actually
you can do whatever you want. Yeah,
they were like, and loads of them pieced out. I was working with a couple of people. Half of the team didn't show up the next day.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's depressing.
Super weird.
So I'd just be like, oh come on, let me do this. I'll make a game.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I am interested in it. I'm kind of interested in it. But yeah, I think that would really neg me out. It's not even a phrase, but it would really neg me out if that happened. But no, I would like to take part. I think now just to as a bit of experience, really. I'm intrigued.
I think you'd find it super. I would love to do a game jam with like talented people, and
yeah.
I just don't have any skills I can learn that because I can't program. But I'd happily work on a board game for 48 hours.
Almost just like to watch people as well, just hover over their shoulders, just have some talented people.
If you're going to do a jam, you want to do the train jam where the indie developers go to GDC.
I would love to do that. And I mean, that would be a great article as well. So maybe one day I will do that, or a video. I don't fucking know. You can do videos these days. You guys know you can do videos. You don't have to write about things.
Man, imagine you and I doing
videos.
A train jam.
Imagine us making videos, man. We should make videos.
Star Wipe Jail.
Jay.
Okay.
I didn't know how old the porcupine was.
That was good.
Thanks. I got there in the end.
Oh,
baby, I love Nathan
Wilkinson.
I want to be with you, Nathan Wilkinson. No, I'm sorry, I don't.
That's one less patron we've got.
I don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
He doesn't want to be with you, Nathan. I mean, he would. I mean, I'm perfectly sure you're a nice man, Nathan. So. Jesus, just hang out.
You haven't even got an avatar, for God's sake. I mean, how am I supposed to commit to this relationship, Nathan? Why are you putting me in this position?
I find these days I have less time to play games continuously, and I found myself playing short games more and more. What are your favourite short games?
All short games. I love short games because you don't have to play them for very long.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Some of them are bad.
Five Finger Fillet is a short game that's almost certainly bad.
That's a bad one.
I love Space Funeral. Well, actually, no. I love Space Funeral, he said, realising that he loved every game that the Catamites has made. If you don't know who the Catamites is, Google the Catamites, one word. Be sure you don't look up the actual description of a Catamite because you'll be sad. But the Catamites, aka Stephen Murphy, is a fantastic Irish developer. He makes Pleasure Palaces of Kubla Khan. I mentioned him in a Eula Surfers. Space Funeral is a great place to start, made an RPG Maker, and it's hilarious. You go to an actual town called Malice. See, you're laughing.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot about
the Space Funeral,
the Catamites in general.
Yeah,
it's fascinating stuff.
What about you?
I don't know. I've played a lot of short games because I think if somebody says to me a game is short and it's good, I'm well enticed. Just because as we discovered a lot.
Oxenfree was pretty short, right?
I haven't still actually gone back to that since because I've just been playing XCOM 2. XCOM 2.
Yeah. This week's been man.
Tell you what, I can't probably can't say much more because I've done a preview and review embargo, but I'm just going to say XCOM 2.
You all can deduce what you want. This week, man, Darkest Dungeon, which I know you don't like. Darkest Dungeon, you might like the finished builder.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to make some pretty...
Whatever.
Yeah.
Darkest Dungeon, Witness, XCOM 2 for you.
Witness is nice.
Deserts of Kazakh.
This year is bonkers.
Yeah.
In a great way, already. And it's one of these things where... I don't know. It's when I was playing.
Firewatch is around the corner,
and we won't be covering that in any meaningful way because the people who make it are kind of our friends. But just so much amazing stuff, and it was just in a way I kind of thought, hey, XCOM 2, yeah, I'll be all right. But playing it's it's fucking great as well. It's Jesus, it's not even February, and this year is ridiculous. But favorite short game, I'm thinking actually,
how do we get onto that?
A favorite short game of mine is Gone Home. just because I think.
Oh yeah.
I still think about that a lot, and I still talk to people about that game a lot, just because
Stanley Parable.
Stanley Parable as well.
Oh, fucking Beginner's Guide. Oh my god.
Yeah. Although I think like
Beginner's Guide.
or like the bloody Emerald game I can never remember the name of because they purposefully Dr. Langestoff, the Tiger,
the Whirlwind Heist.
The Whirlwind Heist.
That was nowhere near as good as all the games we've been mentioning.
I really enjoyed it though. It was very short. It was like 20 minutes. Yeah, I think Gone Home is a real favourite of mine, just because it managed to convey like lots of really interesting emotions in a very short amount of time, and it was all very personal as well, and done in very subtle ways. It was more about, I mean, people talk about the story, and people talk about the characters and the world and the ideas and sadness and the etc. But really, it was actually the world building. It was the world they built that really conveyed some really powerful memories for me.
True story. Steve Gaynor, who obviously was the lead on Gone Home, head of Fulbright Studios, was friends with Lee. He used to be part of the same community. My fiance, Lee Alexander, and the dad. You know, the dad like reviews tech, like is sort of like a tech writer. That is based on / inspired by Lee's dad, who was a tech writer and had like loads of weird, sad tech in the 90s. But then, like, you know, you can say that and it sounds impressive, but I'm sure Steve Gaynor pulled influences from everywhere because that house feels like all real people.
Yeah, that's the thing. It
I
just
love
feels
the mum who's like got the will they won't they with the ranger.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. It
So
just
much
feels like
stuff.
you're peeking through a life that isn't yours. But it really,
I felt so creeped out going into mum and dad's bedroom because you don't go into mum and dad's bedroom.
Well, that's it. It really conveys the same feeling of walking around a house and knowing that you're not supposed to be in looking at things you are, like looking through your dad's. Like when even though you're looking through someone else's dad's drawers, you feel like you're looking through yours, and you're like,
you find
I
that's
shouldn't
porn.
be doing this. I can't remember actually. It was a while ago.
You can't remember.
It obviously wasn't that good.
Oh
Question
man,
from
Ross
the
M.
Rhino.
I really missed the cooking videos. Are they a bastard to film? What happened to Ross's? Oh, here we go. No, we've got Ross's M's answer down there. Well, we'll do this.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. It says he really misses the cooking videos. Are they a bastard to film? Yes. In a word, yes, they're a real bastard to film.
We have got a solution on the way.
Yeah, we do. Also, that'll be a fun challenge for you as a cameraman there, over the shoulder.
Oh no, we'll do what we did with the Let's Plays of the tripod, and then. I mean, I'll suck, but it'll be usable.
It will absolutely be usable, which is all that matters. No, we are going to do some more stuff on Shut 'Em Sit Down. So we're going to be we're working out exactly how we'll do it, but yeah, we're going to basically do it. So I'll be kind of making something, and Quinns will be helping me by filming it. Because the thing I've found about cooking and filming, if I had an island kitchen, everything would be fucking solved because you just have cameras on one side of the island. They're like the bit in the middle of the kitchen. You have cameras on one side, you cooking. It'd be fucking amazing. It'd be so easy. But I don't have an island, which means you've constantly got this thing of having a camera over your shoulder, which means it's not completely over your shoulder, it's to the side. It means then you have to turn your body like this, and it's like you're fencing, but with cooking. You have to be like cooking at an angle so that you're not blocking the camera. And it just means this thing of either your filming is bad or the food is bad. So it becomes this thing of like you cannot do both at once. It's
unless
it's a fucker. Unless he
had a good buddy. Unless I do it.
The solution is
the only one.
He's the only person
in
England or the planet, but probably just England. But the solution is quite simple: is Quinns films it, and then he gets to eat the food.
Oh yeah, that hadn't occurred to me.
Which is like a good trade-off, because then it means hopefully if he's filming it, I can concentrate on cooking, which means the food would be good. So. Because we've had a lot of people in Shut 'Em Sit Down being like,
inexplicable,
and it's like, well, this is weird. Like the biggest feature desired by a board game website is more cookery videos. It's the sort of thing that you try and explain that to somebody who doesn't understand the site, they think you're just off your mind. Like they should be like, what are you on about? Like,
that's true. They want cookery videos. I don't know. That was a good voice. Let's jump down to here. Ross M got upvoted by you all. Thanks. Matt got it in one. Weirdly, rhinoceros. Truly,
rhinoceros.
Rhinoceros. Truly, I am in the right place.
Not just a pretty brain.
I think this guy's a plant, and all these questions are like your brother, just so you can look smart.
This is my brother using 66 proxies.
65.
One fell off.
We used to be up to 80 back in the day.
That's fine.
It is fine because there could be 10 of you, and I would still love this.
Yeah.
Does Ross Redcon, Christ, Redcon02 asks, does Quinns have anything on the horizon for Cogwatch? And the answer is no. No, this is fine. When I first did a series of Cogwatch for RPS, which is still in the playlist on Cool Ghosts, because they very kindly let us do that, I got the series and went, oh my God, and then mentally referred back to like years of indie games. Then I kind of burned out, and right now I only do a Cogwatch when I find a mechanic that I can talk about for 10 minutes. I mean, I can do a Cogwatch on I can talk about any game mechanic for any amount of time, but for the series to be as good as it can be, I only pick mechanics that I can talk about for a while.
Otherwise, if you just tried to do it like to a schedule, you just end up like fuzzing it and fluffing it. And it's
Yeah.
better to have it like actually every time.
And
being,
also,
like,
most importantly, sticks to the cool ghost thing. I do it when I want to do it, which is infrequently, because then I enjoy it the most, because I'm so fresh and excited.
Yeah.
So now I don't have anything on the horizon.
that makes sense.
But something will come along, and I'm going to go. "Ah!"
It's the same with today. You guys probably noticed because you guys are obviously like, you know, some of the most like kind of into what we're doing, but like, you know, it wasn't a Thursday video today, and the reason for that was just because like I've been shattered this week. I've had loads of admin to do. We're going to GDC to do some shut up and sit down stuff, so we've both been working on. He's been writing the copy for the boards we're doing. I've been doing the design, made them look nice, and yeah, you just get to this point where I'm like, well, this morning I was like, I could do a video today, but it will require me to like just get into a game, bash through some footage, write something quickly, and it would be okay, but it wouldn't be great. And it's like, I'd rather just go, you know what, this week I haven't had time, and next week, you know, will be different. But rather than just bashing something out for the sake of creating content, there's a lot of talk about content.
Yeah.
On YouTube especially, it's easy to fall into the trap of just creating stuff because people want stuff. But in a way, we'd rather just make stuff that's good, even if it means some days
People want stuff, but they don't want us to burn out, and those two things are not compatible.
I think so. It's weird how you get into the zone of, sometimes I feel like I'm playing loads of video games and I'm not making enough videos, but then I've played so many games that I can make loads of videos. And now I've been making videos for so long that I'm just like, what am I going to make a video about? And I'm like, I haven't played any games. So I'm like, oh, okay, I need to fix that.
Hello, Chris Chalk. Thank you very much for donating. What a name. What a little icon as well.
Chaos, I think it says.
Oh, it says Chris Chalk. Chris Chaos Chalk. A lot of people seem to be doing this. So for a laugh, 3 predictions each for 2016, so we can haunt you at the end of each year if you're wrong.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm glad you're having a laugh, Chris, because this is hard.
I think we'll have a new Nintendo console, obviously.
You fucking...
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
fucking know. I'm not really in prediction mode.
I think we're going to have a new Assassin's Creed game. I think...
Call of Duty?
Yep. That's 2. I think we're going to get an announce from... I think Destiny will receive some DLC that is really well made, but not quite enough. So there you go.
You know, there's some big stuff happening, but it's like very difficult to call. Like VR is like a thing, but honestly, I don't know. Like, and I think a lot
That's
of the time.
not what he asked.
I know, but the thing is, like in the past, I've actually I'm not being funny, but in the past, I've actually been pretty good at predictions because I tend to think if I really have my finger on a pulse something, and I'm like, I've had a lot of predictions in the past, and it's weird how I don't remember a lot of these people come and say, I've been listening back to the video game podcast, and you thought this, and then like it happened, and it's like I've actually been quite good at it. But I think part of that is just accepting that sometimes you just look at this stuff and it's like what is the next Nintendo console going to be like? You know what? I've got no fucking idea. Like, is VR going to do well or not? It's like I've thought about it a lot. I've read a lot of articles. I've got no fucking idea.
Okay.
So I think this year is going to be good. I think my prediction for 2016 actually is I think that we've, through a lovely combination of things, usually it's not till the end of a console cycle that you start to get really good stuff. But because the PS4 and the Xbox One are basically just fucking glorified PCs, and because now this like tech jump of having to go and then start again is finally ended, and we've actually just got it basically being a PC infrastructure, and we're already like just getting to the point where like so many good games coming out. I think the next few years are going to be awesome for games.
Okay, I've got 3 predictions, which are just, I'm going to throw them out there.
Sure. World peace.
One of the VR machines by this Christmas, I can already tell I'm wrong. One of the VR machines by this Christmas will have a game that makes everybody not buy a VR machine, but go, ooh, I really want a VR machine.
Really want one.
Prediction number 2, I think that Dark Souls 3 is going to be the 2nd best entry in the Souls series. That's a good one, right?
Out of 3?
No, including Bloodborne in that. And including Demon Souls.
Really? So you think it's going to be both better than Dark Souls and Bloodborne?
Well, no, one of them.
One of them.
It's out there.
Charlie Big fucking Potatoes, yeah. I wouldn't make that suggestion. I think
dude, you're interrupting my predictions.
I think if it would be the 3rd best, I'd be impressed, but we'll see.
Well, okay, I will say if it's... I'll settle for 3rd best.
No, stick to your guns. Stick to your guns.
No, my guns are broken. Oh, man. Oh, Christ. What was it?
World peace?
No. Let's move on. You got 2 predictions, Chris Chalk.
2 predictions is all right.
Oh, buddy, my lad.
You know what, though? I think I'm actually less interested in what's going on in the world now.
Well, no, I mean, I was going to say this. Like, AAA is fundamentally less interesting now. We're playing more indie stuff, and you can't predict indie stuff because indie studios just go, "Ah, here's it."
You know what? Like, I used to be really into it and really into trying to keep a finger on the pulse of the industry and talking about the industry and stuff. And then a lot of the stuff over the past couple of years just made me realize that like most people are fucking idiots.
Okay, here's a third prediction. Outside of XCOM 2, I think Cool Ghosts Game of the Year will be something we have not heard of right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think there's going to be like some real surprises, and that's what's nice about it. Is it used to be that I was more interested in trying to talk about the industry. I was kind of, especially because I worked in the industry, I was interested in trying to educate people and trying to talk about how the industry actually functions. And increasingly, I realized that no one cares about that. People just care about incendiary stories. They care about hating companies and stuff.
This,
and you know, I can't be bothered with it. I'd rather just play good games.
This slightly more savory absinthe is awesome. Thank you very much.
It's good. It's very strong. I've almost finished mine, and good lord.
Oh, here we go. Nick Clark asks, "How is Matt's crab game going?"
My crab game is strong.
To you, you've always your crab game has been excellent. Come on, Matt. What's its proper name?
Fuck crabs.
You're not going to get that past a Eula surf.
No, that's why the joke would be it'd be called Fun Crabs.
Okay, here's what we're going to do.
I haven't done it. I haven't done anything else.
Move your chair back. I'm going to be a journalist.
Oh, what? We're doing a fucking...
It's been ages since I've done a bullshit interview. I want to see if my muscles still work.
Do you do bullshit interviews? Okay.
I do. I don't. I'm bad at interviews. I don't do any other kind. So, like most games journalists, I'm hungover. I'm slightly panicking. I really want to perform, but I'm not. I was never given the skills to do a proper interview. So, what would you say is the core of Fuck Crabs?
The three core pillars of Fuck Crabs are crabs, crabs, and guns.
That's a great pull quote. You've already given me more than most designers ever give.
See, like, if I can just learn how to code games, like, Devolver will be on the phone. Like, honestly, like, I've got the rest of it all fucking sorted.
Do you know what platforms you're going to be
on? PC.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm from PS Vita world.
Maybe mobile phone. Vita's very unlikely. I've been disappointed with lots of Vita built. Oh, this is me doing the thing that games do. I'm saying I wouldn't want to be on Vita because I find that a lot of Vita ports are unreliable, and now I wouldn't want to. And then somebody's like, "Well, this games developer hates the Vita. It's shit." This is how people do it. They just have a conversation and then, hoisted by my own petard.
So I'll end the interview with like a fun question, I can have some like fun copy.
Sure.
If you could be a crab, what kind of a crab would you be?
A great crab.
That's shit.
The best crab.
That is the Alaskan best crab.
I don't know about what kind of crabs there are.
That is an answer that's going in the article. You'll say that and not think about it, and then it's in the article. And then
I don't know about crabs. I don't know anything about
that.
Crabs.
Was a poor showing, Matt.
Mate,
poor.
I don't know anything about crabs.
How's the game going?
I haven't done any work on it.
There you go.
I want to, but I'm kind of trying to focus on work that I'm good at.
Goose Bremer asks,
it's kind of my hobby, and I'm actually working quite hard at the moment. I'm hoping in the future.
I've closed the question. No, go on.
I'm just hoping in the future that I might actually come to a point where I feel like, hey, I can actually like work a little bit less, and then I can have the freedom to like do hobby stuff. But at the moment, I think I'm saving it because every now and then you burn out with what you do, and every now and then I burn out from just playing games because I play games too much and think about games too much. And then I found like going into dev was just lovely. So I think there'll probably come a point in a few months where I'll just need a break and I'll just spend a week just making crab game and not doing any work, and then I'll be rejuvenated. It'll be great.
Is it possible to share pictures in the Google Live feed?
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wondering if anyone would like to know how my new bonsai tree is going. Like, I can give sporadic updates through the.
I think we can do that.
Through the Funwraith Hangout.
I don't know how we do it, but we can do it.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of interest in my new bonsai tree within the fans.
Yeah, I can see all of the questions.
Well, they don't know it's an option.
I know, I'm joking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, it's not very funny, is it? So, oh, God.
I love the amount of people that think,
oh, fuck. That we hate each other.
Yeah, like the amount of people watching Invisible Links. Like, why is Quinn so mean to Matt? And it's just like, no, it's fine.
He's quite... Okay, dude, I'm really sorry. You had a question and I accidentally closed it because I thought I was opening a new question.
Killed the question.
I've forgotten your name. I love you. And the question... the question was... I didn't read the name. You had a yellow avatar.
That's
I'm sorry.
Wonderful combination of statements. I've forgotten your name. I love you. I've forgotten your name. I love you.
Okay.
Who are we?
So, yes, the question was if we could have anyone as a guest on Dark Souls, who would we get?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Good designer. Nice designer.
I don't know. You know, I thought about that, and I kind of feel like it's blurring the lines a bit. I think it's like this weird thing of being like, it's all very well for us to try and pretend like we know what we're on about, but then I think there's a tendency, if you start having game designers on and stuff, then people actually know what they're talking about. It's sort of almost like, I don't know, makes you kind of then maybe act a bit more like, oh yeah, we know what we're talking about.
But we already do that.
I know, but I like the idea, and I think about things too much, but I like the idea that we're kind of just amateurs, really, and that's fine.
Yeah, we're amateurs who we're amateurs who share every piece of industry gossip we get, which is part of the fun of the podcast, but it also means we have like desires to escape that.
Maybe, I don't know. I would be, no, to be honest, there are tons of people who I'd like to have on it, but it's that difficulty if they have to be in the room. But yeah, I never really think about it because of that, because it has to be people who can be in the room, because I really feel very strongly against like wherever possible to avoid Skype. Although we actually do a great thing with Paul and Traps It Down, we've got a system that works really nicely. But I think if you have those remote ones where everyone's remote, or somebody's remote and they don't know each other very well, it just creates this weird like stagnant air that I don't like in podcasts.
That's a fun answer for the.
Sorry,
I don't know what I would do. I would stick with a developer, and I would do like, I don't know, the developer of. I mean, it would be Hideo Kojima or something, and we would just have a super weird interview where we just go, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, and I have thought about that. I've thought about the idea, especially in going to GDC, you could do some little interviews and put them in, like what we do with Shut Up and Sit Down, having occasional like interviews with developers interspersed and stuff. But I think in terms of getting games media on, I'm pretty happy with the selection of people we get, to be honest.
I mean, we'd like to invite people because they're our friends, and then if they're our friends, then they'll be on the cast.
Like, I mean, a lot of the time it's people like who I think are just are great writers or great thinkers within the industry, and I think consistently actually that the UK creates some of the best people.
Yeah, sure.
It's actually like it's one of those things where there are a couple of Americans or like a couple of like Europeans I'd be like, oh, it'd be good to have on, but largely it's like most of the people who I think are like creme de la dog's bollocks.
It's because there's
in the UK already.
That is a gross mental image. I think that the UK is good because there's no money, few jobs, but a lot of prestige. So you just get people who are super creative.
Yeah,
fun. Charles Pegg, hello Charles, thank you so much for donating. Asks, what is the worst falling you've ever had from a board game, either in game or while deciding what to play? For me, I've told this story before and Shut Up and Sit Down, but I was playing a game of Memoir 44, which is actually what me and Matt, I guess, talked about business for the first time doing, which I'd forgotten. A lovely, awesome World War II game that's so simple, so interesting, so rich. Like, you would think any kind of World War II board game would be dry, but it's not.
It's not. Really light, really fun. Like a souffle.
Big chunky dice and, oh no, and panic. But Paul and I were playing a campaign of it. You get the campaign book, and then every mission feeds into every other mission, and you write down who wins every mission, and you have an overall winner of the campaign. And I was the cheery Nazis. And there was a particular sequence of events where I got fucked so hard and so unfairly that I had to go and get snacks. I had to leave the house, go to Sainsbury's local and buy snacks. And then by the time I got home, I'd calmed down. But it was unreal. I was livid. It was really bad. Because it fed into future games, you know. It affected my win streak.
I don't remember having any big arguments about or like getting really annoyed about
What about while you're trying to teach a game?
Yeah, actually, I've had some times with falling out or problems with board games that are largely to do with when people aren't playing ball. It's not to do with the actual game itself. It's to do with other stuff, like having somebody who is just become very drunk and obnoxious. At one point, we were trying to play a game, and there was a girl who wasn't playing who just started picking up pieces and throwing them across the room.
Oh my god!
And it was just like, what are you doing? And this was only a few years ago. She was like way old, and then you should be doing anything like this, and it was just this rude thing of having to deal with that. Also, just having people who often having people who drunkenly demand, let's play a board game, we want to play this board game. And now I'm like, I take a really hard line with it because I've had a couple of times of me trying to teach people a board game when they're drunk, and it is impossible. They don't want to listen, or they think they do, but then they can't, or whatever. But now it's like a thing of being like, when I have drunk people being like, oh, Matt, let's play this. I just go, no way, like, no. And the people are like, oh, come on. I just go, no, or like, you can learn it, but I'm not teaching you, because I just zero tolerance. And I kind of increasingly think when people say, why are board games not as big in the UK? I increasingly think that maybe a lot of it comes down to boost, like the fact that socially we find it quite difficult to meet up with 2 or 3 people and not immediately get drunk.
Yeah, in Germany,
you can't do that with board games. You can have a drink maybe once you're like 2/3 of the way through the game and you've all got it, but even then you'll like start to get fuzzy, you'll start to lose stuff.
It's a replacement as well. You don't need board games if you're drinking.
You don't.
In Germany, it's
you don't need board games if you're drinking.
Well, I mean, you do in a different way.
The other way around.
You need it like it's more important than ever. But in Germany, board games are often replace the bottle of wine that you not often, but sometimes.
They drive a lot, yeah.
You replace the bottle of wine that you take to someone's house when you're having a dinner party.
I think it's lovely.
So imagine just not drinking and being like, hey, I brought this card game that we're going to play. And people are like, oh,
but these days I'm such
that
a
is
chill.
great.
Like, I try to win, but I don't care if I lose. And when I get screwed
unless
over by somebody,
you're playing me. And then
oh no, but I try my best to win, but I don't mind if I lose.
yeah, no, I don't mind either, unless I'm in a run of losers.
It's just like it's more that I enjoy the game and like I don't mind. And actually, if somebody has an amazing play that beats me, I love it. Like it's just like I just like the process.
Absolutely. Again, I love when I'm about to click on a question, and then you guys are like, you just reshuffle everything.
That's weird because it's not by pure votes.
No, because it's speed of votes. Like there was a really good one that only had +4, but it got all +4 in such quick succession.
They shoot up, yeah.
Okay, I want to find that question because it was awesome. It only had 4 votes.
Which one?
It only had 4 votes. Oh, there are so many questions. I forget how many questions there are from you guys. Oh, I can't find it. I'll just have to come up later. But it was about what we would do if we weren't doing video games or board games. And that was a good question.
I have no idea.
Second dimension. I've got some bonsais for a start. Second dimension games. Hello. That's probably not your real name. Although if it is, then it explains why you like games. Hi guys. I was wondering how far ahead you plan Cool Ghost stuff. Is there a leather-bound time somewhere containing all the videos you want to do over the next year? If so, can we have a sneak preview?
No, there are kind of ideas in the hopper. We have got kind of a shared document with some ideas in, some which get abandoned, some which evolve. I tend to kind of have a system whereby I have ideas, but they're not quite ready. Every now and then I have an idea and it feels fully formed and it just happens straight away. But mostly I have a thought of an idea and then it takes about 4 or 5 months to kind of mature and like to work out the other part of the puzzle that needs to be there.
I don't have videos I want to do, but I have games I want to write about, like Duskers. Yeah. I did a cog watch on Duskers. Duskers is so fucking good. You know what he's added? Duskers is a game where you control drones and derelicts with a command line, but you know what he's thinking about adding now? You played Duskers briefly, right?
I gotta fucking land to this, man.
You've seen the
for it at like 1.5 foot range.
If you saw my Duskers video.
No, you told me not to play Duskers.
Well, you didn't play it. Whatever. Like you've got drones and you're controlling them with the command line. He's adding a thing so that the camera starts getting fuzzy and you have to type degauss into the command line to degauss the camera so the dust can see again. Long story short, I have games I want to cover. When I started playing Disgaea, I knew I wanted to do a video. When I started playing Duskers, I knew I wanted to do a video. And that's it. That's as far ahead as things get for me. And then, by the way, this is how they filmed Lord of the Rings. Because then you're a hobbit and I'm like Ian McKellen. And I'm seeing how I look bigger.
Oh, Gandalf.
Hobbits.
Yes, I'm a hobbit. What do you want?
Hobbits.
How many?
7.
Okay, Gandalf.
No, we got nothing for you. Second dimension games. We're fast and loose. We're like the Jimi Hendrix.
Although I always have this. There's certain games I want to make videos about, but then it's like, even though we're not really covering AAA stuff that often, like there's just such a constant influx of amazing, interesting stuff that I never intend to be like trying to keep up with the hype or whatever's new, but. At the moment, we've been really lucky in the fact that there've just been like so many amazing things that aren't the big hype things that you see on big games websites, but are still like amazing.
Here's a sneak peek for you, Second Dimension Games. Matt's going to do a video on Dark Souls 3.
I don't know if I am.
Okay.
I need to hear from a few more people who played it.
You're hanging me out to dry here.
I don't know. Like I'm not convinced, but I want to be convinced.
Oh look, it came back up. It came back up. Good work, guys. Chris Church asks, thank you very much for donating, Chris Church. If it wasn't for video games or board games, what would you guys make Cool Ghosts about? What about hauntings? There is
unexplained deaths.
There's a podcast that is almost good called The Parapod, which someone put me onto last time. I was listening to the podcast.
Actual ghosts.
Yeah, the whole plot is it's 2 comedians from the north, and one of them believes in ghosts, and the other one doesn't. Then every episode they discuss a haunting with one of them desperately putting the case forward as to why ghosts are real, and the other one trying to pick it apart.
That's fun.
Yeah, but like
doesn't quite work.
No, it doesn't only because the guy who believes in ghosts is less good at arguing and less witty than the guy and less aggressive than the guy who just says no, this isn't real. So he just sort of mumbles it on. But it's good. You can look at the Parapod. But I like ghosts, hauntings.
What would I do?
Cooking, surely.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's weird because like cooking is new for me. I only got into cooking about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, but if you went into games, you could imagine how much more you'd learn about cooking.
Now maybe cooking, but I wouldn't be a chef or something. I don't know. Maybe I'd love to make videos about cooking. Actually, sometimes I think about that. Like one day I might just burn out on games and just go, you know, fuck games. I'm just going to do like carrots.
I really like I really like traveling, and I'd love to do videos about traveling. And for a while I was like, oh, travel journalism, and then you look at it for a hot minute and it's like the industry is fucking garbage. Like it's just, I mean, I'm middle class, I like traveling, but I don't want to be middle class. But the bulk of travel writing is just like where to go on holiday, or
check out my pashmina,
or twats who are like,
yeah,
I mean, it's so easy
I'd like
to
I mean,
parody.
I don't know, I like
I'd like to do...
I like making videos. Like I've actually, like, I find myself now, like, I go through waves. At the moment, it's great because there've been so many great games at the start of this year that it's kind of rejuvenated my love for games. But the problem is when you play games all the time like this, most people don't do this. Most people have periods where for whatever reason they just sort of zone out and they're not as interested for now. They go and do something else. But when it's your job to do it, you have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And it means you have sometimes patches where you're just uninspired by stuff and things feel derivative and you can't find anything to get excited about.
And that's why doing board games as well is awesome.
That's exactly it. It means having a break from that, being able to do board games, having that as a palette changer makes a big difference. But it means also, like, sometimes I just like making videos, and you kind of see that. Sometimes I make videos and it's about games and it's like why I love games. Other times I'm just enjoying making videos and I'm doing like weird shit because it's like that's kind of my second love really is editing and doing that sort of thing. So I guess I just do that as a job, to be honest,
like,
because I'm quite good at
why
it.
would just comedy shorts?
Comedy shorts. I've got some great comedy shorts.
Ah.
Hey, you want to say some comedy shorts, boy?
No, I would like to see your answer to Charles Pegg. Hello, Charles. Fucking awesome. Thank you so much for donating. Matt, what's your relationship with videogamer.com like now? This got a lot of upvotes.
Yeah, it did. I guess people are interested. It's fine. It's this, you know, it's like with any. Well, actually, it's pretty nicer than with most kind of when you leave companies. Like, you know, when I left Future, for example, I was like, "Fuck Future," and that's kind of been my relationship with Future since, largely. But I'm joking. Although sort of. Anyway, but yeah, like yeah, when I left, it was fine. It was just a thing. We couldn't find an agreement in terms of a middle ground, and I'm glad I did for lots of reasons. But one of the main reasons I'm glad I left is because it meant that, like, it created a hole for Jim, who's awesome and I consider to be a friend. And now, like, you know, they do a whole bunch of interesting stuff and they kind of taken it off in their own direction. I think it took them a long time to kind of find their own direction with the audience they had, which I'm not surprised by. It was a difficult task, but they've done a good job of it. And, you know, they're continuing to surprise me and not always doing stuff that I completely love myself. But, you know, I'm not somebody who watches videos on the internet very often, so I'm not their fucking market. I'm not anyone's market. So, but no, my relationship with them is good. They're really sweet, actually. And when I was having a rough time last year, like, even like Tom, who's the editor, who actually you wouldn't have known of in the past, but now is much more of like, he's in stuff and he's like a known person if you know video gamer. He was lovely. He was saying to me at the time, like, look, if you want to come and work from our office, like, you know, they kind of offered me a hot desk just to be around people, which was really, really
That
sweet.
is nice.
They're really good people. And it's interesting, actually, because it does seem like I don't see a lot of this because I try and keep away from it. But I know that Jim, obviously, because they've still got, like, you know, YouTube comments, unlucky. They're awful. Just don't do it. Because of that, they still have a lot more of people stirring up stuff and people causing trouble. And there seems to be a weird narrative that goes around, this idea that like we're somehow rivals or competing, or like that, like I have a bad relationship with them, or there's bad blood. And I think people just like inventing these little stories when actually, like, you know what, like, I think we all do different things, and I always try to be really supportive of Jim and Simon. Simon's fucking awesome. And, you know, vice versa, really. I'm really amazed at the stuff like the Miller Report. I actually saw when they won an award for video at the Games Media Awards. It was really great to chat to Simon. I hadn't seen him for a while, and I'm so weirdly proud because I remember when I was there, I was trying to get Simon in front of the camera on video because it's like, this guy's awesome. Like, he's got real energy, but he was a bit dry in front of the camera, and his delivery was a bit too straight. And I was just trying to it was this weird thing where you can see it in people. It's like, you've got that kind of star quality. There's something about you. You're fucking great, but it kind of needed to get it out of a bit and get the most out of it in front of a camera, and kind of just give him a few tips about how to use the camera and how to talk to it and pacing and stuff. And so we didn't do much, but we did a tiny bit. And I was like, man, when I left, I was sort of like, I really hope he does more. And obviously now the Miller Report, it's fucking awesome. So I think I've got a good relationship. I don't see them very often, obviously, but there's no beef at all. I think sometimes people see this idea that there's somehow some form of beef, but it's bollocks. It's just absolute bollocks. Like, they're good people. We're good people. We're doing different things. Yeah.
When you pick another question.
Yeah, hopefully that answers it. So if you see somebody saying that, just say, no, it's not true. It's not true at all. So,
click on the button.
Claire Jones says,
Hello, Claire.
Hello, Claire. How you doing? Not to get all insecure games that aren't wank, etc. But if you had to pick some games to show someone who laughs at the idea of them being anything more than shooty bang bang for adolescent boys, what would you choose? Personally, probably it's an easy one. Stanley Parable. Just because I think
man, no, that requires such enough knowledge of games and how they work. Plus, mouse look, people.
Yeah, no, sure, but I think that's just that's my personal taste in art as well. Really, it's not just about that. It's about the fact that I like art, which is funny.
Yes, it's hard because I don't know. It's hard because people don't have the established vocabulary, and also if you're trying to do like games are like, if you want to show someone that games are more than shooty bang bang, like. It's not like there's a movie you could show someone to show, movies can be art. Like, do you show them, Amelie? Do you show them, like, Moon? Do you show, like...
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to see a lot of films before you can start to appreciate things like good cinematography or anything.
And also, like, I don't know, I mean, this doesn't help with the question, but yeah, one of my points is that people like different things. So what is a game that is just immediately exciting? I mean, if they're... What was that? Panoramical, if they're at all into music, because that's basically a visualizer. I'd put them on a Vive with anything if they don't believe like the tech can be exciting.
You know what though? Like
the Valve Vive.
I feel like now video games are such a big thing that everybody is connected to in one way or another, and everyone is playing games to a small degree, whether they believe it or not. For years, I used to try and explain to people how games could be something more, how games could be interesting. Now, when I meet people who scoff at that, I just stop talking.
They're just really rare now.
It's like you don't meet them that often, and when you do, it's just like, well, you know what? Like you're just a really closed-minded person, and me talking to them about what games are good is like, have we got bigger fish to fry?
I mean,
you know,
Claire, you've said like not to get all insecure, but I mean, what would you do if you met someone who didn't particularly care about, books and thought the books were kind of a waste of time? And the answer is like, you wouldn't give them the time of day.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, why would you even try and
I think now
people?
I just sort of like, and I think that's the thing is I used to feel like try and explain. I spent a lot of time like just in the same way I used to meet people at parties and have arguments about the fact that God didn't exist. It's like, why am I wasting my time in nightclubs arguing with strangers outside the toilets for hours? What the fuck is wrong?
I mean,
with
it reminds me of like
go and dance.
If you do meet people who are, for example, like religious, then they're not. They know not to like.
Yeah.
They don't care about you. There's like, oh, I'm religious. This is who I am. You're not religious. Okay, that's fine. Very few religious people will ask you questions or try and probe. Like,
I just think, it
speaks of games as an immature medium if you try and convince people.
I just think now, especially when there's like so many people who know better and so many people who have friends who know better, when you meet those people, I just have no time for them. It's the same as being like, whenever I'm in like any situation in which I'm talking to somebody I don't know and I express a passion about something, if at any point they go, whoa, all right, you really like this, I just go, well, fuck, see you later. Like, because like anyone who responds to passion with disdain or like, oh, that's not cool, you really like something, I just sort of go, I have no beef, but I just sort of go,
yeah.
I literally like I will go and spend my time talking to somebody who cares about something. Doesn't matter what it is. I love it. I love it when you meet someone who's like a biology geek and they like really love talking about cell structure.
Anyone who loves anything.
Anyone who loves something, I'm just like, it's amazing because just that passion. Like, and people who haven't got that and people who scorn at that and go, oh, why do you care about this? Why don't you just watch TV? It's like, you know what, buddy? Like, I'm not going to say it to their face, but quietly while I'm walking away, fuck you.
I mean, it reminds me of the best party we got to go to at GDC. I met like in terms of just energy and the importance of everyone in the room and like the feeling of like, oh my God, this is networking. But I met a developer whose name I knew, and he wandered up to me, and we were both tired and drunk, and we'd been at the shore there, and he just said, what are you into that isn't games? Like, he didn't know me, but that was the question. What are you into that isn't games? And it was the realization that anyone in that party of people who are all higher ups of the games industry would have an answer to that question and would relish the opportunity to talk about something that isn't games. And, these are the people, I don't know, take the energy you would be spending to try and convince someone that the thing you like is good, and find people who will listen to anyone when they say anything is good.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Nailed it.
I just can't be bothered with these people anymore.
Adam Summerton says, hello, Adam. This is going to be a good one. My wife just walked past the monitor and shouted, Matt Lees, while pointing at the screen. She then asked, is this real? Is this actually happening?
Sorry, Adam, I have this effect on your wife.
It's only your wife,
Your
though.
wife.
Most women find Matt repulsive.
I'd love to say women, but sadly it is just your wife. Even my other half can't stand to be in the room with me.
Adam, if you want to tell us what your wife's name is in another question, everyone else.
That's creepy. That's creepy, dude. You're being creepy.
No, we'll just be like,
Jesus.
hey, what's her name? Susan. Hey, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
This is real. This is
real.
happening.
Is this the real
life?
life?
Is this just Matthew Lee's?
Drinking absinthe to escape from reality.
Oh man, Wiggleton. That is not a real name, but Wiggleton P. Tallylicker.
It's not a real name.
You are excellent. Any plans to do community play dates or something similar? Been having a blast playing Tabletop Simulator, and it could make for some great times.
Oh, you know what? Like, I actually struggle enough to find time in evenings to do things like seeing people I know. And like, I've got time in the day, but it's usually spent by work. But in the evenings now, because I record 3 podcasts irregularly, and trying to do things like a regular board game night with Quins to just play more games, and just doing. Basically, it's this weird thing. If you start to realize, you start to do the maths in your hands, and you're like, out of 7 days in a week, I only have like 2 or 3 nights free. Then I have another half who works in like advertising and works very long hours as well. So it means you start to like quite quickly diminish the amount of times you can just spend an evening with your partner down to maybe like 1 or 2 nights a week. Like, I mean, we're doing this now. It's like 10 past 11. So actually, a lot of the time you have with like people saying, "Oh, I'd love to do like online games. I'd love to play like community stuff." And you do get that a lot with YouTubers and streamers. But yeah, it's just like I can't do that stuff.
For my part,
life.
I'll say that when I'm next playing a game that I'm into, like for work, like Subterfuge as an example. If we hadn't done Subterfuge Diaries, I like to think I would have reached out to the Cool Ghost community and been like, "Hey, let's play a game," and then I would have won because you all would have been nice.
That would be cheating.
It
No, I don't play a lot of multiplayer games either. I kind of like being quite insular with my games. I like to just lock myself in
if I play multiplayer games, it's always with like 1 or 2 people.
I like playing them with friends as well. I don't know. I don't know.
Board games,
strange.
I don't go to regular board game clubs, even though we could have a lot of fun there because it's an opportunity to play with my friends.
It's when you start doing it. I think the weird thing is like if I start doing video game stuff and YouTube stuff and streaming stuff when I was like 17, 18, I'd probably be doing loads of stuff. But as it is, I got into this whole YouTube world at a point when I was already an adult with increasingly diminishing free time. And so like when I saw all these other people doing this stuff, I was like, I can't do that. I literally can't offer that. Like,
can't talk for you, man. I've got a bonsai to take care
of. You've got a bonsai tree. So. He's got big responsibilities. He's got an actual tree.
Adam Somerton, I do.
But I would say, actually, we are going to be hopefully going to the UK Games Expo for which board game stuff.
Yes, if you're at all into board games, good catch. We're going to both Gen Con and the UK Board Games Expo. We're going to be doing live podcasts every day.
We're making more of an effort to actually go to like expos and stuff. So
we're going to be having parties at like the UK Games Expo and Gen Con and stuff.
And this isn't put on. Like we are actually like nice people in human form. So if you see us like wandering about, even if you actually just see us, like, if we've wandering about in London, we've hosted to just say like hello.
Yes, we've hosted enough events that if we were jerks, that would have come out by now.
Yeah, people probably would have found that out.
But, Matt Lees, he punched me.
Yeah, Adam don't punch anyone.
Adam Somerton says her name is Gemma.
Adam Somerton.
I'm joking, Adam. She is very pregnant, so hormones could be playing a part. Aww. Say a nice message for pregnant Gemma.
I hope you're all right, pregnant Gemma.
Don't actually call her pregnant Gemma.
Hello, Gemma.
There you
this
go.
is real. It's fine. I hope you have a good baby.
Nice. You knocked that out of the park.
I could be a politician.
Yeah, don't touch the baby. That would be. Simon Evans says, "My wife finds both of you more attractive than I." Sure didn't read to the end of that sentence before I started reading. More attractive than I'd like. When Quince got engaged, she sighed wistfully while staring into the middle distance, unimpressed.
Oh no, he's unimpressed. Not sighing into the.
She's unimpressed that I'm engaged.
No, he's unimpressed with his wife. There's a full stop.
Yes.
On a capital U. That's good punctuation.
But Simon likes us. Simon, you wouldn't be giving us money if you didn't think we were pretty good. So...
I'm engaged as well. I just have like most people don't know it, but yeah.
Most people don't know. Matt's engaged. Everybody, send him your congratulations.
It's true. I got engaged last year, but I just didn't talk about it because I don't know why. I just didn't.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I have done. It's the first time I mentioned it on the internet. So hello.
Me and Lee, excited. It's the first time you mentioned it on the internet.
Probably, yeah. Outside of Facebook with friends. But yeah, no, it's nice.
Nice.
It's just a nice little personal thing.
I'm just going to wait for some kind of nice message to get upvoted.
So I'm terribly sorry, Simon Evans. Send your apologies to your wife. We are unfortunately terribly attractive men.
It's not our fault. We were born this way.
Yeah,
All we can say is just keep on witnessing
Simon,
the fitness.
There is a cure. The further back you go into Shut Up and Sit Down's history, the more your wife will be able to look at me with less knowledge of how to present myself.
Oh god,
shaving, all kinds of bullshit.
I was a real tit back in the day. I mean, more than I am now. It's really
It's the
amazing.
thing. You turn 30, you learn how to present yourself to the world, and you take yourself off the market. It's ridiculous.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. So what am I going to do about that? That's some crowdsourced information. Getting a haircut. I'm thinking
That's
about
the first time Matt's shared that with the internet, everybody.
I never told anyone I get haircuts. I'm thinking because
Oh,
I
look
kind of
at-
like.
Can I touch?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
This is fucking.
It's boofy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it looks nice now because it's just the right amount of days of wash and stuff. But usually, otherwise, it just goes out like this and it just becomes this big thing. So I'm thinking about just getting it really short on the back and sides and just having a bit of fluff on top.
Simon, on the subject, not to take away from your hair, Matt. Simon ever says, "Congratulations, Matt. I'm safe at last." Ah, Simon, safe and ensconced. Nick Clark asks, "Hello, Nick. Thank you so much for donating. Will there be a third Watch the Skies?" Nick is referring there to a video we did on Shut Up and Sit Down, which I would recommend Cool Ghosts people go and watch.
Two videos, they're great.
It's not to do with board games. It's just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Go and watch Shut Up and Sit Down play Mega Game.
Watch the Skies.
Watch the Skies.
No, yeah. If you type in "Shut Up and Sit Down" Mega Game,
Yeah,
You'll find
Mega Game is one word. It's a bunch of mad UK people who run something like a model UN on acid. And initially, we played the Nation of Japan in an 80-person game. Then in the sequel, we did the Nation of Japan in a 300-person game.
it's the most stressful thing in the world.
But one of the most awesome edits we've ever done.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the work we did on that. I think that in a way the first one was a better story, it was more cohesive, but the second one was a better edit because it needed to be even vaguely good to tie the mad. It was a mad day. Like the second day, actually, in a way, like I made it look like a more cohesive story than it was.
Yeah.
Because it was crazy.
In answer to your question, though, I don't think we're going to be doing it this year because maybe there'll be a third one next year. Don't know, but
If we were going to do it, we probably want to do it for a different game. We've
oh,
done it
completely,
twice,
yeah.
and-
We'd want to be like Ancient Romans or something.
Yeah, I think we've kind of done that. We've done it twice and it was great fun. But now it's kind of like it's awesome because the thing was when we went the second time, there were like hundreds of people there, and it was mainly because of the video we made. And it was this weird thing how we just like that was amazing. This sense that we just rejuvenated this entire scene, and it was exciting. But I kind of feel like in a weird way, like it's kind of like Space Star, like our work here is done.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like we don't need to be a part of it anymore. It's like it's more fun for people just to be enjoying it and having their own little stories. We don't need to do it anymore.
We
now.
one of the things we decided over the Wistmas, which is winter and Christmas, the Wistmas break.
I like that.
We decided we didn't really want to do any of the videos we'd done before on Shut Up and Sit Down again. We just wanted entirely new stuff. So
Yes, we're doing new things.
burn it down, build it again.
Bridges you burn light the way.
Ismir, hello Ismir. Wait, wait. So we can just type stuff in here, and Quinns reads it. Yes, you can, Ismir. What I will recommend for people: why don't you all see if you can type a fucking devious tongue twister and upvote it? Upvote the best tongue twister, and I'm going to read the shit out of it because I can enunciate.
Well, Oz Mills has actually done that. It's just never been quite at the top. Sorry, I'm just knocking things over.
Oh, really?
It's been floating just below the bottom, and I feel bad. It's been floating just below the top for ages. We'll see it.
Does anyone else miss the incredibly well-produced outro sting from Matt's pre-Cool Ghost videos?
Yeah, but actually, interestingly, like that was fun. But interestingly, that ties into
What is it?
wow, with Comic Sans. And that was fun, and it was funny. But again, it ties into what I was saying again before of like kind of almost having that sense of being like, if you're not trying, no one can criticize you. And I think now it's more this thing of being
Absolutely.
like, you know what, actually I can do this. So I can joke about incredibly well produced outro thing, but actually I can just make one that looks really nice.
It is a well-produced outro sting.
Yeah, so I kind of thought, let's just actually fucking try to be good rather than laughing.
It turns out you learn pretty fast.
So yeah, take a risk. Take a chance on me.
Osmil says, I really hope I don't mess this up now because that'd be embarrassing. How much fun would a Funwraith wraith if a Funwraith would wraith fun?
Nice, you did it.
I was worried I'd misread it, but I hadn't. The answer is fuck you. Rocker Chavna Demo says, any consideration for a longer term Shut Up and Sit Down video diary series, a la Subterfuge and Invisible Ink, like a short RPG campaign or some sort?
So funny you should say that.
Rocker Chav, you may have noticed that this is, I don't know why I always lean close to the microphone these days. This year is Shut Up and Sit
Because you're a
Down's
creep.
This year
Stop it.
is
Stop it.
this year is Shut Up and Sit Down's 5th anniversary. we may be planning an extra long Let's Play series.
Yeah, we definitely, the substitution thing was unexpected. We kind of expected it to be actually a lot more of a dry play-by-play strategy diary, and end up being this really weird human story. And that's kind of one of the fun things about Cool Ghosts, being able to just like continue to pump in time and effort into making it really good, even though not that many people watching it. But we whilst doing that thought, man, we should really do something similar for like Shut Up and Sit Down with a board game, because you know what, it would be way easier. So we've got some ideas for that. We won't say anything specific yet, just in case anything falls through. But actually, we've got some like a lot of exciting things on Shut Up and Sit Down this year. Actually,
yeah, we've got like
we've gone to town. Actually, I said on the plane we were talking about that. I said,
yeah. How are you doing? It's all working out. It's on. It's on. You know how much she wants?
Nope, not yet.
Okay,
that sounded really ominous. You shouldn't have said that.
It doesn't. Only if
only if I said that.
Already part of a patriarchal society, then it sounds bad.
But we are. It's the system we live in.
Ah!
But no, yeah, it's going to be great.
Eric Tengblad says, "Woo! Congrats, Matt."
Thank you, Eric.
At this point, I should sort of mention and apologize, because Matt told me he was getting engaged. Then I asked Lee to marry me, coincidentally, and announced it to the internet first.
No, it's fine. It was
stole your thunder, reached in, took the thunder,
not at all.
Threw the thunder away.
I think it's very sweet, and I think it's one of these things where, you know, obviously if people around you are getting engaged, it's like it sort of makes you think about those things, I guess, more, and makes you sort of think about your life and what do you want to do. And the funny thing is, you know, when I did it, it was a simple thing of like, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said, "Oh, you know, you thought about this, you thought about that," and I said, "Yeah, I'd like to do that." And he was like, "Well, if you'd like to do it,
you should do it.
Why haven't you done it?" And I was just went. And from that point onwards, it was just like, yeah, like, so I just did it. So I think it's.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's fine. It's only natural that these things happen, and it's lovely. And also, like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I kind of felt like I didn't want to be so public about it. I've been public about a lot of things in my life, but I kind of felt like it was a weird one.
Especially with like the harassment you've received. It's not always the.
Yeah, it wasn't just that. I guess it was more like it was a complicated situation. But it was a complicated situation in the fact that I felt like I had to explain to people what was going on in my life, just so I could explain, because I was doing the whole Patreon thing as well. Like, I didn't want to be like just stopping doing work for no reason. So I kind of felt I had to give some. It's muted. It's back. Don't worry.
Nailed it. That was a sequence of events that you noticed at the beginning of the podcast. Sorry, Hangout. We were drinking absinthe, 70% alcohol, absinthe with ice. At some point, the ice melted. We refilled our drinks. I was drinking 70% absinthe. And then I was working my way through it. And then I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Went to go and get some water and knocked the cable out of the microphone.
I drank my absinthe ages ago. I'm on the mead now.
I know. I refilled mine with neat.
Did you?
Yeah. So then I threw up.
And
then I'm gonna get some water.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
There's a good question there coming up.
I'll have a yeah. So yeah. Now Quinn's is gone. This feels like strangely personal again. Strangely personal. Yeah, I guess I kind of wanted to explain to people what I was doing, because I felt responsible to people in terms of people funding me on Patreon, and I didn't want to be like just being like, well, I'm not working at the moment. And actually, I was still working, but I had this sense in my head like I can't work. So some days I just felt like I couldn't do anything. So I wanted to let people know what was going on. But I felt weird about that, because I didn't want to feel like I was sort of taking advantage of that in any way, and I didn't want people to be like being too charitable about it. You know, I didn't want people like to be kind of funding me just because they felt sorry for me or anything. I kind of wanted it to be like, I don't know, it was kind of complicated and I didn't know how to feel about it. But I kind of felt like when we had this happy news as well, I kind of felt like I don't know. It was a weird thing. I felt like it become this emotionally charged thing, and I don't know. It was strange. It was a happy moment for me, but at that point, I didn't want to ever really talk about it all publicly and what was going on in my life, but I kind of had to, because to explain what was going on. And then afterwards, I kind of felt like, well, actually now I need to kind of slightly withdraw from talking about my personal life, because the only reason I was doing that in the first place really was out of necessity, because otherwise it's like, hey, why is Matt Lees not making videos? Or like, why is Matt Lees being really fucking weird on Twitter? And occasionally just being really angry or really sad. So I kind of felt like I needed to say something, otherwise I was just going to like quietly implode while everyone went, man, that guy sure went weird all of a sudden. So I don't know. It's kind of complex, but I'm not really hiding it. It's just I don't know. It's like I'm weirdly quiet. That's one for you, Quins.
Rocket Chava Demo says, "Oh boy,
Oh boy,"
which you gotta think is a reference to me throwing up in my mouth.
I think it's probably the removing the microphone and going.
Okay, yeah. We haven't removed the microphone. Answer this good top question. It's good.
Okay. How's your bonsai tree, Quins?
So
from
glad.
Shenaland.
So glad you asked, Shenaland.
I love that you.
It's yeah, it's good.
He loves it.
His name is Bonbu.
Is it? I
Bonbu.
should have asked questions. I'm such a bad friend. I'm sorry. I should have asked more questions.
No, honestly, it's a small bush. It doesn't require enough.
Honestly, it's a small
no, it's cool. Learning to take care of it is fun. It grows really fast, which I wasn't expecting. Like it grows, you need to give it like haircuts constantly. But it's kind of like sculpting because you're sculpting with scissors, but instead of like with clay or whatever, you would sculpt, you'd make it the shape you want. With bonsai, you do an indent and then you have to imagine the way it's growing. It's like you're sculpting something you can't see. Because if you, like, let's say you've got a branch with leaves growing off in all different directions. If you cut, it's the next leaf on the tree, the branch will go in that direction. So if you want it to grow this way, you cut down to a leaf going that way and then it grows downwards.
Huh.
So you can grow in all different directions. And then you have to do things like cut leaves in half. And it's very, very satisfying.
Well, I've got a plant and I forgot to water it.
It's absolutely. But the thing is, you've forgotten. That's dry as a bone. You still haven't watered it.
I need to water it. I've been looking at it all day and going, "You need to water it."
But there's nothing more sad than a dead
it,
plant.
It looks awesome when it's alive. The thing is, this was bought for me by my ex, who I've not been with for now almost 8 years.
It's an 8-year-old plant.
It's an 8-year-old plant. So the thing is, it looks like this. It's looked like this many times in the past, but
it comes back to life.
It's come back. I just need to prune it and water it. But
here, good.
Oh, but that's your water, Quince.
I can get more water. This plant is dying.
Man, you're like Captain Planet.
Fucking.
Like, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Quince is an amazing human.
I know.
He really is.
The degree of.
He likes plants as much as he likes people. Some people say it's a bad thing, but I think it's beautiful.
It's got problems. Charles Pegg says, in all caps, joint wedding.
You're joking, Charles. Do you have any idea how complicated it is to organize a wedding between 2 people? 4, that's hell.
Charles, I think.
Come on, Charles.
It's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea as well. But like, you know what? We only get like 50% of the say. And
so let me get this straight. So, your girlfriend would like quite a fancy wedding.
Well, not really fancy. She just wants to have a lot of people there.
Okay, my girlfriend would like not a lot of people, and she'd like one quickly. But that can probably be hashed out. Your parents would like some control over.
No, my parents don't care.
Oh, but someone was providing them.
Her parents.
Her parents would like some say now over my fiance's wedding. That can probably be worked out.
That could be worked out.
The music of walking down the aisle. They can probably both agree on the song.
I reckon so. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Probably wear the same dress as well.
Probably just
like matching. Like they wear the same dress.
I was thinking a conjoined one.
Yeah, like Siamese twins.
It'd be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, it's difficult. It's weird. Like I think the thing you don't think about is like even if you have a lot in common with a person, like trying to hash out the.
It is hard enough
it's
between
hard
you.
enough
It's between 2 people. Like it's just ridiculous.
Like I've had this weird kind of like midlife crisis thing where I've suddenly like been going through and trying to put together a list of like people I want to invite to the wedding, and it's this weird thing. I've realized I don't have many friends, and it's like that's fine, because it's like I've got good friends. I haven't got many friends, but I've got good friends. But there's something really worrying when you start looking through your Facebook of like thinking, oh, who have I forgotten? And you look through and you see all these people who, at some point in your life, you've been really close to, but now you're just not, and you just go, oh my God, I've got no friends.
But
anymore.
you don't, I mean, you only need friends for the wedding and then you would drop them like a hot stone again.
No, but that's the weird thing is you then have this thing of being like, my other half's got loads of friends and family and stuff. And it's like, it's just gonna be this weird thing where it's like, I'm gonna be diluted. I'm gonna be like the squash mixture at my own wedding. Like, most of the people at a wedding aren't even gonna know who I am.
Potent and very sweet, but
yeah. I'll go for that actually. By the way, I should mention it might look like I'm rocking back and forward weirdly in this video. I am sitting on a weird kneely chair, so I am doing that. It's not like if someone, because I know that sort of thing people watch it on YouTube and go, why does it seem like Matt is like weirdly gyrating back and forward?
It's camera effects,
because
mate.
I literally am.
It's After Effects.
It's all incredibly expensive effect.
Hello, Karima. Thank you so much for donating.
You can tell we're getting to the end of the hangout because the questions start to get really weird.
But this is the best bit.
I know. I love it. I'm not complaining.
If you woke up one morning and your hands had been surgically replaced with a video game, what game would it be? Also, how would you use it to contact the police?
Pokemon. I don't know.
Well, yeah. If I'm gonna live in a horrible world where I've got a video game that can apparently do things according to your question, you want it to be like a saccharine, exciting video game. You don't want it to be like, you don't want BioShock attached to your wrist with all the horrible baggage.
Oh, the last third of that game was awful.
Police, help me.
Well, I mean, the problem is they're all just discs, aren't they? That's kind of
no, but I mean, the assumption, I guess, is
the concept of a video game.
Yeah, Pokemon though.
Weird surgery.
I would use the Pokemon that spew forth from my wrist. Karima, give some more thought to your questions.
Karima, it's a fun question, but when you think about it,
doesn't make a lot of
stand
sense.
up to a lot of scrutiny.
No, it doesn't.
Guys, I'm about getting a haircut in the morning. What the fuck am I doing with it? Give me some help here, Jesus.
Oh, you want advice as to what you're going to do?
I don't know. I mean, I think I know what I'm going to do.
You didn't ask for the help. You're going to trim it like short on the sides and then trimmed but boofy.
Are there no hairdressers in the comments thread here?
Surely. 62 people.
62 people. Statistically speaking, we should have 4 hairdressers.
David Paul says, I've just spotted a guitar in the background. Do either of you have any musical talent, or is the guitar just a well-made cardboard cutout?
It is an actual guitar. I can't play it terribly well. One of my things I would like to do, because I'm trying to skill up for whatever reason, I just want to learn loads of skills.
You're like me as a teenager, just on Napoleon Dynamite, just wanting to get skills.
Yeah, I just want to get skills.
Get After Effects skills.
It's just like when you get to a point where you're proper grown up and you got kids and stuff, like you just have to do what you got to do to like try and make money, and having the luxury of time to learn skills, like you don't have that anymore.
Like sweet nunchuck skills.
I don't know, so I'm just trying to learn stuff. But yeah, I try and learn music, but I can't do it. But really, I should go back to guitar in a way because I don't understand note structure. I've tried music software and it's just fucking alien. But I can play a little bit guitar. But I would like the idea, mainly because I keep trying to do comedy songs and I've pretty much exhausted all of the free songs in Computech.com. So it's like I can't make new songs.
Oh man, it's so funny.
I've used them all.
In Computech is an amazing, but not very wide royalty-free music library on the internet. And I love that people on Shut Up and Sit Down are like, oh man, that's so cool. This is the music from the last Will video.
Yeah.
And it's like,
this is the music from this game. And like the problem is you keep using the same music because there's not a lot of stuff. And it's one of these things where like it's almost like amazing. I was talking to the guys I do regular features with. It's like, man, none of us can do any music. Like it's this weird, annoying thing of being like, actually, I know lots of really creative people. I hardly know any creative, funny, driven, makery people who can do music. And it's a real shame because it's like you can do so much stuff. I actually really like making stupid songs, but it's really hard if you can't do the music because you just have to find a song you can sing over. Like,
so funny songs are so immediately funny and easy as well.
Yeah, and I like doing them, but I should really continue learning to play guitar. But
we've been on there for about an hour and a half, so let's blitz some stuff.
Yeah, and do some more. No, we haven't. We were 10 minutes late, so we can do a bit more.
Okay, wicked. That's interesting. Faye Mayade.
That's a good name.
It's my guess. Thank you so much for being a Funwraith, Faye. It makes a huge difference.
Cheers, Faye.
Balls, declares Faye. Stupid keyboard. What were the first games you cheated at and felt bad about it? I'm guessing Faye has a rubbish question buried. So, here we go. Oh, that's another question. What were the first games you cheated at and felt bad about it? Man, I wrote an article on Shut Up and Sit Down about cheating. If people Google Quentin Smith Magic the Gathering cheat, it should have come up. I'll check that. But I wrote an article on Shut Up and Sit Down about playing Magic the Gathering with big boys at my school and cheating.
I always feel like with board games, people cheat because they're bored and it creates an element of the game which is more interesting. Like for them, like an element of seeing how much cheating you can do without getting away. It's like maybe the game should be more interesting. No, this isn't coming up.
Man, that's interesting. I wonder if it's lost to the internet. Yeah, must not be very Googleable. What a shame. Well, there's an article on Shut Up and Sit Down. Good luck finding it. We are implementing a search function.
Yeah, we are trying to redesign the site a bit. So.
That's the best reason to do it. Yeah. I cheated at Magic the Gathering. There were some cool kids in the year above who played Magic. A whole class of them, and no one in my year did. So I got my decks, and I was so excited to make a first impression that was good. I cheated and cut my deck in a weird way so that I'd get a perfect hand. Didn't help me. I lost and I never played Magic again. So that was good.
Games I cheat at. I think I learned some valuable stuff
about cheating and about cheat codes, because it used to be in video games cheating and cheat codes were just things that were included, and it was funny how I started to realize that there were some games like GTA which actually like the reason you cheat is because the game itself was not giving you what you wanted. And I think that increasingly Rockstar didn't actually have a firm grasp of their audience, and the fact they started to build these like long, massively elongated cinematic stories, and it's like, no mate, people want to fucking get in a car chase and they want to blow up the police with rocket launchers. That's what your game is about, whether or not you want to fucking accept that. But either way, there was this weird thing of like cheating games. I started to realize that like once you done that, once you cheated to unlock everything, the fun of the game was gone.
Man, I spent a year, probably when I was between 8 and 9, where the only video games I played were platformers on my Amiga with invincibility mode on, and I would just play platformers. An entire year of just Adam's Family platformer, or Super Frog, or James Pond Robocod, where I would just walk from the beginning to the end taking damage, and like it was like being a weird tourist.
I suppose you just want to look at stuff, but I found it was like if I was enjoying the challenge and I cheated, after that, like the illusion of the challenge was just gone forever. And it was this weird thing of now I have the same view about like free-to-play games and stuff, and I often don't like free-to-play games because I feel like sometimes that kind of the perfection of the difficulty curve is really interesting to me, and I think that's like a good part of game design, is making sure that at every point you feel just challenged enough. And once you've seen behind the curtain and seen the power you can have when you have everything, it doesn't work anymore. So you've worked it out. You've worked out how to do it.
No, Chris Wilson nailed it.
Has.
Yes, Chris Wilson nailed that. Chris Wilson found the article. It's called The Magic Position, although clearly, judging by the URL, I called it Some Kind of Magic initially.
The Magic Position is a fun reference to that song, isn't it? You put me in the magic position.
Yep. And that's...
I can't remember that as by somebody of the era.
Yep, someone of the early noughties whose name also escapes me. Good album, though. Yeah, so it's called, if you search Shut Up and Sit Down, The Magic Position, or Quinn's The Magic Position, you'll find my story of cheating at Magic. Thank you very much, Chris Wilson. You are...
Nice.
Yes.
Out of 10.
Charles Pegg says, any chance of a live meetup anytime soon? Perhaps at Loading Bar. And the answer is maybe. I think there's more chance of us doing like a live... with like a hangout afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where like
we're just really time poor.
We're really time poor. I work too much, and it's my kind of resolution to continue to try and work less, just so I can spend more time with my life before it disappears.
Bearing in mind, Matt doesn't even play enough games to
make videos about games.
Yeah,
which is you kind of think that's crazy. But yeah, no, I think at the moment, for next year especially, you know, we've got. We want to try and step up stuff with Shut Up and Sit Down in terms of going to events and being available for that sort of thing, just because really. Cool Ghost is still really new. We're really having a lot of fun with it, but it's very much about kind of like just trying to just harness the passion we have for video games and harness the passion we have for like interesting games. And I think, you know, maybe we'll see, but it's one of these things, you know, we're both lucky in the fact we both like spread across lots of different projects and lots of different things, but you do become quite time poor. And I think we're both available in lots of ways. I just think in the short term, to be completely honest, like the idea of having like Cool Ghost meetups and stuff, it's just not really, we don't have time for it, or the organization.
I mean, you'd have to...
We're just trying to get into the rhythm of running a site and putting good stuff up there really often, which is actually with just 2 people, like quite a lot of work.
Like, you got to ask what in our lives would go away so we could do that kind of thing. And the answer is either money, time with our fiancés, or work.
Yeah.
Or relaxation. Like it's
one of those things where it's like you do a lot of like, you know, you do like I don't know if you're doing it right now, but I know you do a lot of like kind of Netrunner stuff.
I do Netrunner tournaments, but that's because I love the game.
Sure.
And like again, that like
but also we're going to be at like, you know, game expos like for that sort of thing. I'm doing like regular features live once a month at a bar in a theatre pub in North London. So it's a sort of thing where I do get people who are actually kind of like fans of Cool Ghost who pop along to that and say hello. So we're kind of available. We're not like elusive, you know. It's like if you really want to pop along and meet us at some point, there are opportunities to do that. But I think you know, I'd love to be in a position where we could be like, yeah, we're having like a kind of monthly, or like not monthly, but we're having like a kind of like, you know,
Keza
a meet up, and I'd love to do that. But I think it's one of those things where at the moment we kind of in a we're in a kind of ecosystem whereby like the only way that what we do works is that we do all ourselves, and it does mean like, you know, making thumbnails, making stuff, getting on just even simple tiny things like tweeting out videos and things. It takes time, and you know, I think in an ideal world, if we suddenly found ourselves in a position where we could like be able to step away from some of the admin and just be the people who appear in front of cameras and film stuff, you know, if we ever get to that point, then you can start to do these things. But otherwise, it's exhausting, to be honest. And we put a lot of our energy into the work. And I think hopefully, well,
which is a super long, depressing answer to your question.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, but like you can find us a meetup. If you guys want to organize one yourselves, that would be awesome. And we, you know, could see about like posting about that or talking
and
about
you know, the funny thing is, like, I really want to do live Dark Souls. I'd really like to do like a live Cool Ghost thing, but it's just, you know, like my to-do list at the moment is notoriously short, and Quinn's has written good work at the end of it, you can't see, but with a big smiley face. But usually my last to-do list, you can see my current to-do list has 3 things. My last to-do list had like about 25 things. It's just like when you are working for like multiple websites and doing multiple things all the time and writing, it's just like your week is just gone. It's toast, and you know, you work 14-hour days, and I'm not complaining in the slightest, but whenever there's anyone suggesting doing anything extra, you have to really, really question that or justify that. And weirdly, all the time we have tiny things saying, hey, can you do this? How about you do this? How about you do Steam curators is a big thing we get all the time. Can you do Steam curation? It's like, no, like, when would I do that? Like, that means getting up like an hour earlier every day, or like, you know, what, even one day a week. It's like, I need my sleep at the very least. I need time with my fucking, I've got no friends. I need to meet up with friends I haven't seen for years because I've been focusing on doing work, which is cool. But you kind of have to. But I think that's what I love about you guys, and what I love about Cool Ghost is the audience we have are actually like really understanding of that. And you can just turn around to people and go, I've kind of got to like sort my life out. And people go, that's cool.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And you know what? On the internet, that is so rare. So I'm just like super thankful for that.
People just want us to be happy, which is awesome.
Yeah, and we need that.
Oz Mills says this is a good one. Any chance of a new Patreon target and extra $3,000 and you hire Pip or Brendan? We are looking at other hires. It would, yes, basically there's a chance of that. Should we move on?
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, if we had like loads more money, then we definitely just would.
But we could potentially ask for the money to hire someone. I think the bummer is that the people we'd like to hire aren't necessarily people like Pip and Brendan are too busy to work for us. So the people we want to hire are names you guys might not have heard of. And then if you haven't heard of people, there's not much point putting in like extra $3,000 and we'll hire this person you've never heard of. Like that's.
And I guess also it puts people, if they've already got a job, it's like, you know, it puts people in an uncomfortable position then, because their current employer goes, what? Like, it's weird. But no, we are thinking about this, and we are like always fudging numbers to see stuff. And yeah, we're working on like trying to expand a little bit.
We'll see.
More people in.
We'll see.
We can't really say any more than that, but we honestly, like, we spend, and again, this is one of the many multitude of things we do. We spend a lot of time trying to sort this stuff out. To make things better.
Simon Evans says, since XCOM 2 doesn't come out for real people till next week, what can I use to soothe tactical itch in the meantime?
Invisible Ink.
We just talked about this in the podcast. Yeah, Invisible Ink is app. If you haven't played Invisible Ink, what's wrong with you?
It's really solid.
And
like,
yeah, it's just good.
I mean, like, it's great. I haven't played it much, but like
only because you're doing it in the
only because I'm doing the series, but also like I know this sort of genre well enough to know that the little amount I've played Invisible Ink I've played, it's like, this is a great game.
Yeah,
you can just see it. It's like, this is great.
Also, if you're looking for tactics, I mean, Homeworld Deserts of Karnak is a real-time strategy game, but
Karnak, it's not Karnak.
Karak, I don't know, man.
Karak, yeah.
Is it Karak?
Karnak.
Homeworld.
Jesus.
Homeworld is good.
Homeworld.
Darkest Dungeon. Oh my god.
Say Homeworld.
Play Darkest Dungeon and see whether you're on the side of me or Matt.
Yeah, that's one of the few games we really disagree on. We just can't be bothered talking about it anymore.
There's no point.
There's no point. Like, Quinn's really likes it. I don't. Like, I completely get why he likes it, and it's fine.
Here we go. This is fucking awesome. I'm gonna fuck this.
Good luck.
Chandelier. Gruff Owen Jones asks, to begin to toboggan, first buy a toboggan, but don't buy too big a toboggan. Too big a toboggan is too big a toboggan to buy to begin to toboggan.
He's good.
You guys can
go
away and look for something that can test me next month.
He is good. Quinn's is very good at scripted stuff.
You know what's funny is you do me a podcast, or like if I'm rambling, I talk like it's fucked, but then I can read like a magical elf.
Okay, right, fine. Let's go for a final question. Easy. Your favorite Bowie album is. I've been listening to a lot of Bowie recently, and you know what? A lot of it is rubbish. But I love I love that he just kept making stuff.
Did you see that chart The Guardian did of all the different musical genres
So many, and a lot of them were not great, but that's fine. And I like that, and I find that very inspirational, the fact that he kept reinventing himself and kept like being like, I want to do this, so I'm just going to do it, and just not holding on to the past and just not staying Ziggy Stardust. And I know that Ziggy Stardust kind of almost drove him mad because he started to blur the lines of knowing who was he, who was Ziggy, and it became this weird thing. The drugs probably didn't help, but still, I think most artists, if they were as successful as he was with Ziggy Stardust, would have just been, or they would have gone back to being Ziggy Stardust. Once things had cooled down, they would be like, but he didn't. He kept moving forward, regardless of what was going on. And I think creatively, I think that's really inspiring, this idea of being like, don't try and go back to what you did before, just keep going forward, and just believe that better things have come. Even if it's rough for now, the best may yet be to come. But I would say on that front, the album I've been listening to a lot of his stuff, and I really, the Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust is just a
Which is the album with Let's Dance?
I don't remember the name. I've listened to so many, they've all kind of blurred into one.
For me, it actually is Labyrinth, because it's maybe one of Lee's favorite movies, if not her favorite movie. So we've watched it a couple of times, and so all the songs have me happy memories of, like, Bowie being bizarre, but also, my girlfriend being happy. So that's nice.
Also,
it's shit. It's a shit. I hate the music in it, but
I genuinely recommend as an album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, if you've not ever listened to it, because it is just like every song on it has a certain energy. I think Joe Screbbles was talking about it on Twitter and just saying it's just perfect album. And it is a perfect album. It's consistently really interesting and really good all the way through, but it's just the energy. And it's great because the album starts with a song called 5 Years, which is like a documentary about Bowie has been named after that, but it's a song in a world in which the world is dying and they have 5 years, and they've basically been told like that, you got 5 years, and then it's about going to space and about aliens and this idea of like a world being redeemed. It's all sort of like kind of very light touch stuff, but light touch narrative throughout of a world in the future. But we were listening to, I was playing Pandemic Legacy, and it's amazing because it's like, we've got 5 years. That's not a lot. We've got 5 years. My brain hurts a lot. And just this idea of people just realizing they've got 5 years before the end of the world. When we were playing Pandemic Legacy, we're like, mate, we've got like 3 months. Fuck 5 years, man. But yeah, no, I think it's having listened to a bunch of his work, because I was kind of inspired by the man more than his music in many ways. Going back and listening to a bunch, The Rise of Ziggy Stardust is a great album. I'd recommend it.
That's good. I'll listen to it on the way home. Oh, really? No?
Yeah, we're gonna have to, and actually we'll end on the. Something bumped up towards the end. We'll end on this.
Oh, hello.
Which is lovely. Saying Paul Cosgrove.
Hello, Paul. Thank you so much for being a Funwraith.
He's already done this. It's Aniki, but he was right. He was the first question today. I remember. I met him in a pub in Nottingham. Met him locked pub once.
Oh, nice.
Nice guy.
Nice.
Apparently, someone asked Bogart how he'd made so many great movies, and his answer was, "I kept working."
Oh fuck! There's another.
And I think that's it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And you've got another one. All right, well, let's end on this.
Oh fuck!
Because come on, you can do it.
Is this the same guy, Nick Clark?
Nick Clark is on Google. Or maybe he's not.
Oh, fuck, this is hard. Betty Botter bought some butter, but the butter bought was bitter. Betty's bitter butter made Betty's batter bitter. But if Betty bought some better butter and put the better butter in her bitter batter, Betty Botter's bitter batter would be better.
Fucking hell. You're good at these. You're good at
Keep trying, kids. Keep trying. Keep trying.
You knew. You weren't messing about.
I'm not.
I can do this.
Man, you know what? Fucking, if we ever get Lee on Dark Souls, I'm nothing compared to her. She's a beast.
I cannot do this stuff.
He's got to see you next week. See you next month.
See you next month. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. We really do appreciate it.
We've been cool ghosts.
And if you're watching this and you want to ask questions next time, then yeah, just keep an eye out on the site. And we usually try and do it a week before. Keep an eye on the Friday post when we do them, being like kind of when we're going to do it. And you can come and ask questions if you are a Funwraith. Funwraith, of course, people really give us $5 a month.
Absolutely.
To be honest, you can just do it for a month if you want and just ask some questions and pop off. We don't mind. We're pretty
That would be great. Yeah.
We really appreciate anything.
And also, if you don't know when the next Hangout is, just tweet at Video Ghosts.
Yeah, we're trying to get on it, but organization is not our forte, so just bear with us if we're doing it. We're trying to be good, but in our hearts, we're just bad people. He's got his jacket on.
We love you guys.
We're going. Goodbye.